Hey, what's up, man? You're live.
Hey, what's happening?
Giving people a minute to get in. How's it going?
Good. I have a couple of questions for you.
Yeah.
If you wanted to wait or
No, let's do it.
yeah, so couple of things. First, in no particular order, Nick Pivetta, is he starting or is he coming off the bench?
I just wouldn't. I think I have left him in one lineup. I'm not touching him outside of that.
But do you know the answer to my question?
He's not starting.
Okay, that's the answer. Yeah, I'm not going to play him either.
Leaving. It's just, yeah, it's a little weird.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure because he was still listed in DraftKings as probable.
Right.
And I just wanted to make sure that I was getting it right. The other thing I was going to ask you is, what do you make of the weather in the San Francisco game, specifically with respect to playing Logan Webb?
I never thought about Webb at all. But I do think that it's definitely risky. It seems, that's the most risky game, right? That's what I've got as the most risky game. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
If it's an in-game delay, I just think you just cross the guy off. It's just not a great pitching slate at the top.
That's the thing, though.
Just skip it. That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
That's my personal take.
Okay. Now, those are the things I want to ask. And then one other thing that I don't know if people noticed was that Devers is out for Boston. I don't know if you recognize that. So that probably, if you were going to play the Oakland pitcher for some reason, it bumps it a little bit. And if you're going to play the Boston stack, it reduces it a little bit. A couple of value plays that are just I never really do this, but that are showing up, and it kind of goes along with what I thought were going to be value stacks. You have Kyle Isabel at 2,200. But look at some of these others, like Wilbur Flores is 3,200. You got
only get like 2 at bats, but
you think so?
It's definitely possible.
Okay. Then you have the other Detroit and KC guys like Kerry Carpenter.
I would be a little bit concerned about using one-offs from the Giants game
because of the pinch hit.
Well, that's one thing, but then you add the weather as another factor, and even if it's a lengthy delay, the most likely thing is you bring in a righty reliever. The most likely thing then is Flores, Slater are in danger. Matos is probably in danger. Conforto obviously not. J.D. Davis won't be.
Did you mention Slater already?
Yeah, he's the most likely one.
Yes.
He and Matos. But yeah, they just remember they've got 3 good lefties they can bring in, hitters wise, and they're going to every single time they get the chance to. So it's almost like if you're if you're playing against teams like this, it's kind of interesting because it's starting to shift a little bit. But people have started to come on to what I always thought, don't make them make the pinch hit. You know what I mean? Just leave the worst hitters in against your better lefties or whatever in this case. But anyway, I digress.
No, the other thing is that I'm going to rerun stuff now, but it had been a while since I came up with this build, but for you to yell at me about. But I was getting a whole bunch of Cleveland, and every time I do that, you're like, dude, what are you doing playing Cleveland? And they never score any runs. It's when they score runs, it's like on singles and doubles and
yep.
And
they're the worst team to try to stack.
Fantasy unfriendly manner.
But they're also the thing is why they always rate out good too is they all hit. They're all decent hitters. There's just one guy with power. It's kind of weird, So I understand, but also on top of it, the winds are a little bit crosswinds, but they're kind of coming in from right, which just 10 miles an hour, which is enough to make me not interested in the lefties, which is going to be everybody for them. So I'm just sort of off of it personally, but I understand the stack for sure. I don't have alrighty. Oh, Rosario is the only. Oh, I do have Rosario a little bit as a one-off.
And speaking of playing guys that really don't hit that well, that are cheap, Washington is showing up.
Yeah, I think all these teams. I'm really happy for other people to play them.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
That's exactly how I feel. Like, and look, it's going to work sometimes. You know what I mean? Washington's going to score 15 runs in the game sometimes. I'm not going to be doing it. I don't want to play this stuff. I want to play the Dodgers.
Right.
I want to play some of the Angels, even though I have a little bit of interest in Severino too. I want to play the Tigers because the matchup, although it's a pretty awful lineup that they put out there. I was like trying to pay down a pitching and stack the Tigers, and it was hard for me to do. Like I was like, I don't need to leave 2,000 on the board. I can then decide to play, Logan Gilbert or whatever.
We could stack Alan Trammell and Kirk Gibson, just like a 2-man, and then you'd be right off to the races with the Tigers.
Yeah, I feel like the Detroit KC game, as with a lot of their games, is probably the most interesting game on the slate to me. I feel like all 4 facets are completely viable. I feel like both pitchers are completely viable to me. Both lineups are completely viable. And I'm saying Jordan Lyles is viable. Like, that's me saying it,
Yeah.
He literally could end up with the top 3 or 4 scoring performance on the slate. He's facing the Tigers without Baez. Like, it's a bunch of, like, rookies and second-year guys. Like, you can have a game.
Logan Gilbert is going to be 65% owned in the big buy-ins.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's not in my biggest buy-in, but he's in most of my other ones, to be honest. Just transparency. People are trying to talk themselves into this Paul Blackburn thing further than I would engage with. Even if he has a nice game, it's hard for him. It's hard to score a lot of points against this Boston roster. And there's other pitchers like Manning is a low strikeout guy, but play Manning against KC. Look at KC's lineup, man. Like there's one guy in there who you can actually consider a major league hitter at this moment, maybe 2. You could argue. Actually, I don't even think Prado is officially shouldn't be a major leaguer for most teams. So it's like
Bobby Witt, and that's
the only one. Melendez in general, I still believe in the long term, but he's been one of the worst hitters in baseball this year. I would play Matt Manning. That's what I'm doing in my biggest buy-in. I was going to play Pivetta. I was flirting with Pivetta Manning. I'm playing Gore and Manning. I understand that there's risk with Gore, but I just think look, this is my motto for the second half of the year. Take stronger stances. Take the gambles that you feel like are worth it. And Mackenzie Gore being the highest scoring pitcher tonight, if someone gave me 10-1, I bet you that's probably the odds right around there.
Yeah.
But I bet you can even get better. That he could easily be the highest scoring pitcher on this particular slate. The only thing that concerns me about him is that he hasn't thrown pitches in a long time. He got shelled against Philadelphia, which I don't care about that. But then he had the Cincy game, which got cut short. So he's really hasn't pitched in 2 weeks, which is just, something for a young stud pitcher that they might look after a little bit. Still not enough for me to overlook him. I do think the Cubs offense is much better than people give it credit for. But I think Gore has elite level stuff. And if he just has his stuff, I'm in good shape. Sonny Gray is getting very highly owned, and I'm not playing any Sonny Gray right now.
That's exactly the next guy I was going to ask you about.
Yeah. I would rather play Griffin Canning than Sonny Gray personally.
No, that makes sense.
If Luzardo was going to be lower owned, I would play him. And there's a really messed up part of me that because I could see how easy it was to get in some of the stacks you wanted to, that kind of just thought well, if we do this, then maybe we just play McClanahan and take his 85 pitches and 10 strikeouts in 7 innings. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's board, you know what I mean? It could happen. I remember the other night I was worried about Urias, but look at Urias. I think had the highest score of any pitcher on the slate. You were saying the price seemed egregious, but I was like, yeah, I don't really know if they're gonna let him go unless everything's clean. But everything was clean, so they let him go.
With who?
Urias on Friday.
What ended up happening with him?
He had an awesome game. He had 6 innings, 9 strikeouts, no hits. I think 1 hit.
Yeah, guy's a good pitcher.
He's really, really, really good. He was hurt before, but he's so good. These Dodgers, man, they don't mess around. And like, I was the lowest on them of coming into the year, of maybe anybody, but I just can't overlook it. They're just, I mean, yes, they spend money. They don't spend as much as the Mets do, but they spend a lot of money. But they're so good. They're just like, everybody is a quality hitter. Everybody takes quality at bats. Even they turn guys in like Jason Hayward back into a real life baseball player. Like, it's incredible.
Right.
Very lucky to be a fan of a team like this. I just wish they won more titles. All right, what else do we got? Guys, drop questions or thoughts in. Yeah, I'm high on the Dodgers tonight. I understand the great. This is, Sheets, my strategy in general. Like, I love the idea of playing all the young guys. I also love the idea of stacking against them. And Baltimore's bullpen has been good, which is a little bit concerning. But give me 90 degrees with wind blowing out in Baltimore and the Dodgers. I think if right now that they're projected for 4.75 runs. I would bet you that like 70% of the time they score 5 or more runs here. I really think that. And I think there's a really good chance. I think that of those 70, whatever, that there's a 10 plus run game in there. A couple of them.
Well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do for fun is I have to change one lineup here. Before we go from DraftKings to FanDuel, because I do want to talk about FanDuel.
Okay.
I'll pull up the sports book and see if I can get what I can get for the Dodgers scoring 5 runs.
They're probably below even though they're projected for 4.75.
Maybe we'll go all
108 favorites too. It's really kind of a weird. I know Baltimore's good, but like, come on.
You do get if you want to go back to that Red Sox game, Duran's hitting first at 3,900. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I have some value on. I think the best value is that of the KC values is the Furman at catcher because he's clean up. He's got some power.
Right.
900. Isabel 100%. Kerry Carpenter at 3,200. I have more Ohtani. This might be like one of the first times I've played this much Ohtani, just because I had the money. Because I don't think it's necessarily to spend up on pitcher.
Do the Pirates not have their lineup out yet?
Yeah, it's weird. So basically, the only thing I can think is that McCutchen just got off the disabled list.
We got this Henry Davis guy.
Yeah, you're gonna have there's gonna be a cheap option no matter what. It's Davis or Andy Rodriguez or
there's some 2K guy from the Reds, I think.
The Reds, they have Will Benson is 2.6. He's in the.
Oh, really? I thought there was maybe there was a Pittsburgh guy. There was somebody from that game who was going to be 2K who's not bad, apparently.
Not in the Giants or in the Reds. Oh, there's Brett Wisely, but he's 2K. He's batting 9.
Oh, okay.
And he probably stays in the game at least. You don't have to worry about him getting pitch hit because he's a lefty.
So let me here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go into the sports book here, and let's see. Oh, let me share my screen. Let's have some fun.
I'm going to answer a couple of things. I think Nicholas is okay, by the way. I might be in the minority there, but Rich, I am going to play some Nicholas. Clay Davis says, what about the Angels on DraftKings? Absolutely. I'm using them more as fillers. I have Moniak, I have Neto, I have Ohtani, but I don't really have more than a 3-man, but I'm totally good with it if you want to go that direction. I still believe the Yankees are, like, their bullpen is strong enough. It's just not a team that I generally like to stack against. Do pitchers or batters have an advantage in the rain? That's a really general, broad question. It really depends on what type of rain and when. In general, the answer should be pitchers. But the truth is, with a lot of these storms, you end up seeing higher heat levels when there's some of these rain games. So it's actually really tricky to try to figure out, because this time of year where it's raining, it's usually pretty hot and humid, which is really good for hitters. So tough question.
Dude, you want to go in halvesies with me on this one?
What is it? I'm in whatever it is. 5.5. How much is it?
Plus 625. Oh, that's just to win the game by 5.5. I think. Let's see. I think.
I'm not even going on
alternative run line.
I'm not even going on that one.
Alternative. Is this not right? Is that what this means?
It can't be 5.5 at 7.
No, Definitely not.
But
Alternative run line. No, this is the alternative run line. Okay, I want runs for the Dodgers. That's what I want. Let's see.
But I think over on that game is like the easiest bet anyone's ever made. I don't care who's pitching on the freaking mound. Like, you should not have a 9-run total with this Dodger team in Baltimore with the 90 degrees and the wind blowing out and it being humid. Like, it's just
runs. Oh, here it is. Dodgers total runs over 4.5, just minus 115. I want the alt lines though. This is not, this is no fun.
No, FanDuel does better stuff with that, but I don't.
Who's pitching for the Orioles?
Grayson Rodriguez.
I gotta tell you, they have no shame. DraftKings with that alt run line.
Yeah,
only 6-1 to win by 6 runs. I mean, like,
that is ridiculous.
And if you want the other side, it's like plus a it's like.
But is it ridiculous, Sheets? Because I bet you they win by 6 runs about 1 in 6 or 7 times. Don't you think? Throughout the year, will the Dodgers have 16 wins by 6 runs? I think they will. That's actually 1 out of 10. So will they have
Dodgers total runs 4.5.
30?
First scoring play, number of runs, 1 run minus 340. If it's 2 runs on the first scoring play, it's plus 310.
It should be a little higher.
Okay. Race to runs. Both teams to score. No. To Baltimore to bat in the bottom of the 9th. What? Oh, that means either tied or losing. Either tied or losing. Okay.
Yeah.
Winning margin. How about this? This would be a good sweat. Dodgers to win by like exactly 2 runs is like plus 800. You know what I mean? Like that's got to be like a fun thing to root for.
That seems like a pretty common number. That's kind of what weird.
Plus 3 runs is 950.
But it can't be plus 3 or more.
No. 4 plus is plus 300.
That's not good enough.
If you're going to do that, I'll lay the 5.5.
You can't do it.
You get 6.25 to 1.
Yeah, I give you the 6 point whatever to 1. That's crazy.
Oh, they have no shame in this one. Team total runs odd or even, laying minus 110 or minus 120.
Oh God. That's the epitome of no shame.
And is it like roulette, like 0 like pays the house?
Yeah. Did you see the other day there was 36 consecutive rolls were a 0 or a double 0 with one exception at a Vegas casino. I don't remember which one. 36 though. I mean, that's pretty nuts. Just 0 and double zeros for 36 rolls.
That's crazy.
But if there's enough betting and gambling, at some point you're going to see everything.
I suppose.
You ever made a run flush and then a straight flush back to back or anything like that?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever made a royal flush in my life.
Come on.
I'm telling you. I don't think I've ever made a royal flush in my life.
Really?
I mean, like, I've had like the 1 card one. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like when I need to use one of my 2 hole cards or something?
Yeah, the 2-card royal flush. Yeah, I just meant in general. But yeah, that's the 2-card is much, it seems way crazier.
Dude, you want to talk about running hot? I had a guy who played tournaments for me, and he wanted me to back him in cash, and I said no, because you just can't track. I never back anybody in cash.
Yeah.
But then he was playing a tournament series, and he says, "Listen, you want like if I play cash, you could have have it." I'm like, "Sure, that's fine, whatever." He wasn't going to play for much. Dude, he won like a $200,000 bad beat jackpot or something like that.
Oh my God, that is
nuts. And he told me about it. How good is that?
That's even running better.
That's running so hot.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like, it's crazy. Yeah.
All right. So, what are you doing on FanDuel?
I didn't play on FanDuel today.
Okay.
Sort of splitting time here.
You know what? Let's do what we sometimes do. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna run a FanDuel build here on SaberSim, and then I'm gonna build my big lineup and see what we See what we come up with here. Okay. Did you disappear and come back, or did I? Oh, I think you just. Oh, you said you had to go for a second.
No. I honestly don't know what happened. That's really weird.
Oh, so wait. Let me share my other screen here. Yeah, I'm sharing the wrong thing. Minimize that. Still sharing the sportsbook thing, which is annoying. Oh, let's share again. Hold on. Share. SaberSim. Okay. All right. So it looks as though they want me to play just in the MME stuff. Gilbert like 1,000,000%, which I guess makes sense. And stacks. Yankees is the favorite SaberSim stack of the day.
Interesting.
Yeah. Canning, Gilbert.
Yeah, you're gonna get 0 ownership. That's one thing.
For the Yankees?
0.
Well, maybe 1. maybe 1. That's something to root for, though.
My big buy-in, I'll just tell you, it's all LA.
I like it. I'm a
little bit annoyed that it's not. I'm a little weirded out because I actually like Severino a little bit.
It's like it's the Randy Newman. It's the Randy Newman build.
Out of LA, yeah, that's right. The Randy Newman.
It's another perfect day. Dude, I went to LA's got different different political segments, to say the least. And I was at an omakase in the Hamptons the other day, and there's this couple there. I think they lived in Encino, but they were moving. They have a place in the Hamptons. They wanted to move. That and the other thing. They wanted to move out of there, and I'm like, oh yeah. And he says, so they were like 35 years old or whatever, and they were like, yeah, we just can't take it out here. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, okay, they got right into it. Oh, I can't believe they're teaching the kids about the pronouns when they're in school. I'm like, oh, dude, I don't even want to.
Oh my God, man!
They just went right into it. You know what I mean? And then my wife made a mistake. Like later in dinner, the conversation, somebody talked about COVID. And she's like, "You didn't get the vaccine, did you?" They were like, "No, of course not." Anyway, Encino's different, I guess. Anyway,
depends on what part, yeah.
All right, so what? Let's. I want to at least look at a big buy-in in FanDuel and see what I want to do. All right, we're gonna edit this right now. Actually, kind of like this one with Canning. It's not bad. It's like Canning with San Francisco's, and so I'll be rooting for the. I'm rooting for Canning my big buy-in. While I have 60% Yankees in MMA. You gotta like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can Canning be playing on FanDuel? I mean, honestly. It doesn't sound. I mean,
it doesn't sound ideal, but I think on FanDuel, I think he's reasonable. I would probably just suck it up and like I'm probably gonna play Nicholas. I'm building one right now, and I play probably.
Oh wow, I like that, huh?
Yeah, just like he's got a chance. I mean, he has a leash. He's incredibly efficient with his innings. He's got a better chance with a quality start to get you points in a win than he does to. Well, the win is tough because of Luzardo, but I still do like it.
You know who's rating decently for me, and I don't know why no one's playing them. What's wrong with Seattle tonight?
I don't think Sonny Gray's a bad pitcher.
Not a bad pitcher. But... I know what it is. Oh, I suck.
What?
You don't want to know. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's like really, really bad. It doesn't get worse.
How about this Ellie De La Cruz, who's now the highest priced player on FanDuel and second highest priced on DraftKings? And it's like accurate. It's what it should be. Like he's He's so good, man. It's crazy. These guys, I'm telling you, when they come up now, they're sure things. It's like basketball. It's not like baseball anymore. Every guy that's supposed to be great pretty much usually ends up being great. Do you know who is an interesting option, though, if you're not going to play? I actually think the Cubs are kind of a sneaky team.
Ooh.
But I'm playing in my biggest buy-in, Mackenzie Gore, but like I also think the Cubs are a sneaky team.
Yeah.
Look at Cody Bellinger back where he belongs as one of the highest priced players.
So this is like really behind the scenes stuff. The reason why Seattle's showing up as a really good stack. And it's not showing up on SaberSim. It's not showing up when I put my projections in. It's not showing up anything. The only place it's showing up is like in the stacks sheet that I keep separately, because I found a bug on DraftKings, which I didn't fix on FanDuel. I don't know if you noticed this, but this is like really way behind the scenes. But I think it was SaberSim or one of the sites, they, instead of putting pitcher like a P, they started to like specify SP and RP or something like that. Mm-hmm. And the way I did my stack coding with the guy who did my spreadsheet stuff is that you took the top 5 players from the team that were not a pitcher, right? Mm-hmm. But now that they changed what a pitcher looks like, instead of P to RP, it now included pitchers and like eligible guys for my stacks. So that's why I'm getting all these Mariners in my stacks, because I'm getting Logan Gilbert as like
oh, interesting.
Or a Seattle stack. So
that's funny.
That's why it's kind of showing up. So
yeah, that's funny.
That's that. Yeah, I might end up playing the Canning. Wait. So you were talking about Ellie De La Cruz. Yeah, they're making a huge deal about that 97.5 mile an hour assist. That was It was that one and the O'Neal Cruz one from like last year were like the 2 biggest. That's all we need now is people trying for that record and like throwing their arm out, like trying to throw a guy out from shortstop.
I know. You're right. Well, I can only get my FanDuel lineup into the cheap one, and none of the other ones are open, except the you know.
Mookie and Freeman, like all these Dodgers are really.
I've got a Cubs Dodgers on FanDuel, and I've got a Dodgers Angels Dodgers mini Nats. The Nats are cheap. That's why it just fits in.
Oh, Bobby, I forgot to. I was whine about it, but I was looking at Corey Seager here in this sheet here. I forgot about this. The other day, I had in the big buy-in. I think it was like a weekend big buy-in, so it wasn't going to pay that much. $25K for first or whatever. I had this lineup where I was in like 12th place or something like that, and like nobody had anybody left. I had like 100 guys from Texas, like, and the whole meat of the order was like Corey Seager, Garcia, Lowe, like all these guys against the Cleveland dude, and I just needed like anybody do anything. The 5 of them went like 0 for 15 in their last 3 at bats or something like that. It was freaking nuts. So I'm seeing Corey Seager here. I'm a little.
Oh man, yeah.
I'll tell you this: Dallas Garcia, like that guy, he doesn't get cheated. Like when he swings it, like
he's going for it every time.
It's like 1-0, 3-0 to 0-2 doesn't matter. It's just the freaking.
I absolutely love it.
Yep. Yeah, this Quentin Priester apparently is not that good.
We'll see.
We will see. That's right.
We'll see what happens with Pittsburgh. I don't know. I mean, like
he'll give up 6 runs and it'll be on singles and doubles and
yep. And that's what they do.
That's what they do. And then the other guy I wanted to talk to you about. So this was really funny. I don't know whether it's because they changed scenery or they changed approaches or whatever it is. We talked about this the other day. Not the other day, like last year, like 2 years ago when Matt Olson was on the A's. We were like, amazing how like this guy even has a job. Like all he does is like try to hit home runs. Like he's
hitting 40 home runs every year.
But he hits like 100 or something like that.
Yeah, he's 100, yeah.
And he's like on pace to like break like the Braves like RBI record.
Yeah, but that's what happens though, because he's in a great situation, but also everybody knew he was a stud. Like they didn't feel so bad for losing Freddie because they got him as a replacement.
And they also I'm sure he's benefiting from the shift rules a little bit.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And he got Acuna on second base every time he comes up to the plate, pretty much.
Yeah,
so good for him.
You have a runner in scoring position literally every time you come up, almost.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna bounce.
Yeah, I am too. I will. I'm gonna put my stuff on Stakings, and then I'm gonna get.
Nice.
You have anything up there today?
Is that?
You have anything on Stakings today?
Yeah.
I'm getting up there. All right. Good luck, everybody.
Good luck. Take it easy, guys.